We thought the war, at last, was ended.
It is here, Galadriel. The moment we feared.
With this particular project, from the beginning, JD, my co-showrunner, and I were determined to go back to the books. We wanted to capture the spirit of Tolkien. We wanted to tell this new story that had never been on screen before of the Second Age. You know, Tolkien never wrote it as a novel, but he wove this backstory throughout the Lord of the Rings, right? Gandalf talks about it here, Elrond talks about it there, Sam sings a song about Gil-galad, you know, and then there's the appendices where he sort of lays out the whole history of Middle-earth. You know, we want to deliver on expectations that fans have had for decades when they read this book, and they hear and they imagine what Gil-galad was like, what Sauron was like when he was a physical being. What were Elrond and Galadriel like in the Second Age? What were the early days of hobbits like, when the wandering days Tolkien writes about? So JD and I and the many, many amazingly talented artists that we've had the privilege of working with have worked so hard, insanely hard, for so many years, month after month, day after day, hour after hour, to try to be true to that spirit and try to deliver on that story. Any day, any hour, I might answer this one differently, because you know, it's a joy going to work every day when your job is to bring Middle-earth to life, right? But I would love to talk about orcs. You know, JD and I were determined to use practical orcs, physical prosthetics, real performers, and when those orcs came out, oh my God. You see one orc in the second episode, but you see a few more in the third, and even more, I say, as the show goes on. We're pretty thrilled at the work that Weta did and that these amazing actors did. You know, maybe even some folks who've been orcs before. New Zealand shut down around the same time the rest of the world did. There's a scene on a boat at the end of the pilot. You know, we were shooting that scene on the day that everyone's looking at their phones and washing their hands obsessively. And within 45 minutes, Tom Hanks announced that he had COVID. The NBA, professional basketball in the States, shut down their season, and the World Health Organization declared a global pandemic. It was really scary. And that weekend, for the safety of our crew and our cast and everything, we decided to shut down, and Amazon was enormously supportive. But New Zealand managed COVID really beautifully. We're incredibly grateful for being there at that time, because we were able to resume working, you know, after a couple months. And then we resumed shooting a couple months after that. Strangely, we were able to take advantage of it and do even more design work and more work on the scripts. And JD and I got started on a story for season 2 during the little gap, and really started mapping out what the next leg of the journey would be. It's the plan is for 5 seasons. We talk about 50 hours, but Tolkien's world is so vast, and we want to go to all of it. You know, the goal here is to bring aspects of Middle-earth and Tolkien to the screen that maybe have never been seen before. In addition to hopefully delivering on the things you've been waiting to see. So we got a long road ahead of us, and a lot of exciting ideas.
You have fought long enough, Galadriel. Put up your sword.
Without it, what am I to be?